some morning calm as we continue on our way, moving into the summer, which is hard to imagine. Hard to imagine. Get this squared away a little bit. Hard to imagine June is already here. So wherever you are joining us from, it's great to have you part of our service here today. And today, going to take a little time out. Sunday, I did a service on freedom from the voices that haunt us. I got a lot of text messages back, a lot of communication back. And I think because it's a universal struggle that we all have, we struggle with the voices in our head. Most of us do. And obviously there can be, it's where it's too extreme. You want to be super careful about that and get professional help if the voices are overwhelming. We're talking just normal sort of run of the mill stuff, those voices that are constantly chattering in our ears about how we're not enough. As Brene Brown said, "You're not enough," and who the blank do you think you are? Those are the two voices that a lot of us wrestle with that are more the common level, but are really hard. And as well, people have traumatic voices. They've experienced a trauma in the past, and there's a voice associated with that just keeps on recurring. So I just thought I would take a little time out today and just offer a few reflections on that. 3 reflections, actually. The first is to always remember the dynamics of how hell works. And there is a dark force in the world. We experience it, we see it. We've seen it in history. We see it in ourselves. We just know it's there. And this the shadow side. And if you're uncomfortable with the word hell, just think the shadow side. And yet we have to look at how that works. And this is so important. And he's repeated again and again. I need to repeat it again and again. What hell does is hell comes in through our thoughts, and it will literally like cherry pick all the thoughts and all the feelings that are negative and that move us away from God and away from other people. That's how you pretty much know they're from hell. They'll move you away from God, away from other people, and the two really are essentially the same. And what hell will do is hell will constantly pick on memories, memories we have of this bad thing happening or memories we have of that bad thing happening. And then it will also focus on projections into the future, that this is the way the future will will always look. This is the way, this is how to catastrophize. This is why it's never going to work out. So it exists on both sides of the present moment. In other words, it exists in a sense, though not, I wouldn't overstate this, in a sense, in what actually isn't really right in front of us. It will dive back into the past. It'll dive back into the future. And even this little current moment, it will bring all those things, all those forces to it, and essentially unplug us from the current moment. How many of us have been in a family gathering, wanted to have a great time, and we just couldn't because there was so much racket in our head, either from the past or from the future, usually from both. And we need to be really careful of that. Hell has no interest in getting us out of that. And the fact is, when those voices take hold, maybe one place to start is to just accept, just like any addiction, we're powerless over them. Hell has our whole lives to work with, material, and all of us have stuff. I mean, we just do. And hell working with that stuff will just shut us down with all our worries, concerns, anxieties, all that stuff. So what is one to do? Well, there's a couple of ways here to think of what we can do. I would urge you not to think that you're going to fight the voices, because when we do that, we're fighting them on the same level that they're on. And it just, I don't know too many people. I mean, maybe there's some, maybe somebody will text me something different today. I've never been able to do that. I don't know anyone who's ever been able to do that, to literally talk themselves out of those voices. What we need to do is we need to go to a different place. And that's why Jesus is so much into third way thinking. It's not this, it's not this, it's not here's the bad voice, I'm going to combat it with this other voice. It's about, no, where's the third way? Let's just go to something totally different, because this is a stupid fight and we're not even going to get into it. We're just going to avoid it. And 2 ways to do that. One is obviously through prayer. And the prayer here is a little different. The prayer is like, hey, God, I can't, you can, I'm asking. You've heard that a bunch of times. That's the essence of a 12-step program. It's where we really get that we start with that we're powerless. I'm powerless against these voices. I got nothing. They can totally come to control me. There's nothing I can do. It's a full body reaction. I'm not choosing it because who would choose it, right? Who chooses to have that stuff? I don't think that many people really do. Maybe some of us do, maybe some of the time we do, but it's not fun. We don't tend to not choose things that aren't fun. And why would we choose that, right? Not a good choice. So what's the prayer that can work? Well, again, a prayer that starts with powerlessness, and a prayer that simply focuses on not my will, God, but yours. That tends to work well for me personally. God, I offer myself to you to do with me and be with me what you will. Relieve me of the bondage of self that I better do your will. That idea of relieve me of the bondage of self. That's what I want. That's what I want to be praying for. I want to be praying to be a place where God's will can act out into the world through me. Now, it doesn't mean I ever become transfigured into any kind of holy person in any way. That's not it at all. It's just like using electricity or using your cell phone. You want to learn how to use electricity. You want to learn how to use your cell phone because it's going to make you a little more productive. And that's what we want it. That's what we want to do with spirituality. We want to use it the same way we'd use electricity, same way we use a cell phone to help us serve more people. And that's what we're trying to clear the decks for and there's a way in which, instead of arguing like, God, please get rid of this voice in my head, please get rid of my voice in my head, which invites the voice to argue back like, you're not getting rid of me. Instead of going like, I'm not in that neighborhood anymore. I'm going to a totally different place. And it's going to be a very prayerful place that's all about being powerless and just asking for God's will to be done in my life. Real simple. And then from there, folks, action. Anytime we are acting, it doesn't give space for those voices to get involved. And the problem is, taking action oftentimes is very inconvenient. Again, spent some time over setting up the local fair called the June Fete. It was really fun to do. And I'm going to be working the refreshment stand with some dear New Church Live friends on Friday. That'll be really fun to do. And there'll be at least 5 minutes in there. Truth be told, where I'll be thinking, why the heck am I doing this? Like, I got a bunch of other things I'd rather be doing on a Friday night, or that I could have been doing last week. But then you do those things and you have those moments and you make those connections and you're active and the mind quiets. That's just how it works. It's just how this is just such a strong spiritual dynamic. So, friends, 3 lessons. One is, know that you're powerless in front of those voices. That's what hell does. Just remember, hell has no interest in getting you out of it. So how do you find a different way to go at it? Well, one is through prayer, a prayer that's about God, not my will, but thine be done. Just simple prayer. And then the third one is take action. Let's just keep acting, keep doing things. And this is progress, not perfection. It's not like we figure out a way, like a bad weed, to root out the voices. It's just what happens is they quiet sort of one step at a time. And that's part of this life. That's part of what we work with. That's part of how we work through. And getting rid of those voices slowly over time is a way we come more and more into who God created us to be. So that's kind of it in a quick nutshell, folks. I hope that makes a little sense. And what we're going to do now to still those voices is we're going to use our little prayer bell. We're going to do a little meditation, a little prayer, a little blessing, and then we'll say hi to folks on social media. So, friends, first off, let's all get a big breath. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, friends, let's say hello to folks here. And again, I hope you're all doing quite well today. All right, Kim, good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. Patricia, great to see you joining us this morning. Sherry, good morning from Wisconsin, the cheese state. Beth, writes, good morning, friends. And Beth, I am so excited. Beth is one of the people I'm actually working with, her and her wonderful husband, Joe, at the fair on Friday night, which will be a lot of fun. Mary writes, one of the hardest things for me to surrender is my willful drive to push towards what I think works, which is actually opposite of God's design. A daily maintenance is required and is manageable. The voice is telling me it's one and done. Yeah, you know what? It's boy, Mary, you always offer such profound points. It's so true. It's just not one and done. That's just not how it works. And yeah, I was talking to somebody. It's a little bit of an aside. Talking to somebody a few days ago, and just talking to him about how pastoring, so much of it gets. This is gonna sound so strange. It gets to a point where just like, oh yeah, I don't have like the solution for you, because more and more I don't. More and more I think it is just that daily maintenance routine. It's just that constant, falling out of the boat, getting back in the boat, falling out of the boat, getting back in the boat. Wash, rinse, repeat, just again and again and again. And through that, over time, we see differences starting to be made. But your point, so well taken. It's just your head's going to tell you it's one and done. Not my experience, and probably not a terribly great way to hold our spiritual lives. And that's why, again, that 12-step concept of progress, not perfection, is incredibly beautiful. All right, let's pick up any more comments we got. We got a couple more over here. All right, Marcus, good morning to you. And Jean, good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. And Betty, good morning to you, my dear friend. All right, friends, that's what I got this morning. Wishing you all the best, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.